No, I'm fine. It works. It's all right. No worries. No, we're there to have fun. It's gonna be fun. What's the theme as well?
Get yourself drunk. Get yourself drunk and never sober up. Never. This is the key. More than religion or fitness or eating right or a nice house or a good job or company car or good wife or 2.4 children. Get yourself drunk, for this is the key to life. One more morning, 3:28 AM to be precise. If it matters. One more session of pen and paper and typewriter and words and wine and endless cigarettes and dizziness. And for what? Hell, if he ever knew that, he would probably stop. But this is the routine. Not an easy one, but then one can think of worse ways to spend the night. By the next day, it will all seem a waste. A horrible and vile waste of good hours and already dwindling brain power, by God. For the next morning will come, and he shall read it, those dirty little spat out words, and they will seem daft, and they will seem amateur, and they will seem nonsensical and childlike and lacking point or structure or relevance. But every night, he will go on.
Okay, Ronald, I'm going to be straight with you. Basically, the thing I'm worried about is the number of units of alcohol you tell me you drink each week. The recommended safe level of alcohol is 21 units a week for a man. In your case, that's 1.5 days worth. This is going to cause you serious problems, not in later life, but in the very near future, unless I'm much mistaken. It's putting your liver, your brain, your whole body at serious risk. My goal here isn't to lecture you. I don't expect you to stop drinking altogether, and I certainly don't expect you to become a teetotaler. But what I do want you to do is to think about units. I want you to become a complete unit freak. I want you to think all the time about the amount of units of alcohol that you're putting into your body.
Normally, it must be said, or here would not take any notice of some foul fiend of a doctor, whom cares not for the suffering of his low-life patient, but more so for the fancy house and fake-breasted wife he will return home to at the end of the day. But this doctor was different. This doctor showed genuine concern. Our hero decided to take in what he said. He worked it out. Take a bottle of cheap, nasty cider. The cider, a 2-litre bottle, contains 8.4 units of alcohol, over twice the daily recommended intake for men, and costs £1.24. Compare that to a bottle of cheap red wine, which at £3.11 contains 13.5 units of alcohol. So, 2 bottles of cider, which cost £2.48, gives you 16.8 units, a whole 3.3 units more, and still saving you 63 pence. So buy 3 bottles of the cheap cider, which will cost you £3.72, you're getting 25.2 units and exceeding your weekly amount in one day for a little over the cost of 1 pint of beer from a bar. This doctor was really onto something.
Ronald, I know you can do this.
You feeling okay, baby? You've not been sleeping much recently. Are you tired? Do you want me to get you anything, do anything for you? How's your writing going? Anything good? Got lots of bills coming in. Lots of angry notices. But don't worry, baby. I'll sort it out. I'll get some more hours in. It'll be fine. I'm real proud of you. You've been working really hard.
Life is a series of events. It is, unfortunately, that simple. This happens. That happens. If one really has the balls to look at it in its truest and most pure form, they would find that life is just a series of events leading up to that last big event, death. He had never chose to write, it chose him. It boiled up inside of him, bubbled up to the very top until he could take it no more. He simply had to. He had to sit at that typewriter and let it all gush forth, release the pressure and try to keep up with the words as they poured out. If it hadn't have grabbed him, if it hadn't have boiled up, then he would have surely have killed himself long ago. Suicide, but not through depression or hurt or a wantonness for attention, but through boredom. Simply boredom. But with writing he can create his own world. His world. He is in complete control of it, and there is no one in that world to tell him that he is wrong or useless or crap. This is his, and he can say what he wants and he can shout it as loud as he feels, and by God he can scream it. To get to that world, booze. Booze is the great transporter. Booze is fantastic fuel for the typewriter. It will take him into that world he so desires to be in. That world in which he is in control. Life is just a series of events. But as long as he is writing, as long as he has booze, hell, maybe he can just get through it. And by God, if the drinking doesn't kill him, the writing certainly will.
Baby, I know you're tired, but your mum called. She's pretty upset with you. You can do it, baby. I know you struggle to find your great work, but you've got it in you. You can do anything you want to do. You can be better than your heroes.
Always be ashamed of your heroes. For in the end, you're only trying to emulate them and doing a shit job.
Well, I can't even say it actually.
This is it. This is his night. This is his destiny. Now is his time. The time's come. No more will dirty little words be spat out. Now it is time for sentences to flow forth and great and almighty paragraphs to form. It is time to create the great and almighty work that will make his name and give him his legacy. Let the words and sentences flow. He is ready for them. It is time to cut out all the bullshit. It is time to stop playing. It is time to step up to the mark and be counted with all the greats that suffered and struggled and hurt for their great pieces. Go for it. Now is your time. I may just give it up, and you'd be happy, and I'd be happy, and the world can just go on, producing all its shit, and you will just keep on, devouring all the world's shit, and you wouldn't care a damn that I ever tried at all. But then, you would be right, and I commend you for it, because I am wrong. The good old shit sandwich sometimes just tastes nice. Give it up, you drunk fool.